President Jonathan congratulates British Prime Minister for winning majority seats in the House of Commons. Hopes for greater bilateral relations with Nigeria.
The divisions based on ethnic, religious and party affiliations need to be buried.
Senate President stresses need for reconciliation of all segments of the country.
And we are profiling them even also by families and states.
And Nigerians forced out of Niger Republic received by NEMA. Good evening, a warm welcome to NTA Network News this evening. My name is Funke Oga. Senate President David Mark has enjoined the incoming Muhammad Buhari administration to take as priority genuine reconciliation of all Nigerians in order to assuage the feelings of some aggrieved persons. Senator Mark said this while addressing a congregation at a Thanksgiving Mass ahead of the 7th Senate at St. Mulumba Catholic Chaplaincy, Apo, in Abuja. He also canvassed the need to address the security situation in the country.
Nigeria, as it is today, needs reconciliation. The disaffection, the divisions based on ethnic, religious, and party affiliations need to be buried so that we can embark on meaningful development. It is not a mistake of history that God has brought us together under the entity called Nigeria. Therefore, we must do our best to live in peace with one another. This is a challenge to all of us, and all hands must be on deck to ensure that there is forgiveness, reconciliation, and peace.
Senator Mark counseled public office seekers against desperation for power, saying there is no need for people to be desperate for power, since it is God that gives power to whom he so wish. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Cardinal John Onayekon, advised politicians to reduce the political tension in the country by avoiding the winner-takes-all syndrome.
Power belongs to God. He uses whenever he wills.
That was Cardinal John Onayekon. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, has called for religious tolerance and interfaith harmony for the country to become a global superpower. He made a call at a dinner organized by the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission in honor of the former chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Alhaji Muhammad Musa Bello, in Abuja. Aliu Tukul has the details.
Considering the long-standing relationship between the two faith-based agencies of government, the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission and National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, who have demonstrated strong interfaith harmony over the years, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation says there is need for this type of relationship to be extended beyond the agencies in order to promote peaceful coexistence among the adherents of the two religions.
I want to say that the spirit of love, the lesson of cooperation and relationship that had existed between the Hajj Commission and the Christian Pilgrims Commission under the leadership of these two gentlemen has been quite exemplary.
Both leaders of the agencies known for repositioning their institutions to global standard describe the relationship as a reflection of the true teachings of the two religions.
The essence of life is the value that we add to life. Life is just nothing. But I want to say with all sense of humility and thanks to God Almighty, I deeply, deeply appreciate you, Bello, for who you are, for always being yourself.
Actually, the relationship between me and John has been quite deep and very close. And I think from day one when we met, the chemistry just stuck.
The dinner is also to create an avenue for the staff of the two agencies to brainstorm on how to improve their services to the nation. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Over 6,000 Nigerians evacuated from Niger Republic have arrived in Yobe State to begin homeward journey to their respective states. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdulkadir reports from Yobe State that the National Emergency Management Agency and other allied bodies received and registered the returnees. His report.
The National Emergency Management Agency created 2 transit camps in Gaidam for screening and profiling of the returnees.
And we are profiling them even also by families when we are and states. So within the states, we have identified a family or a number of families that can fill a vehicle.
We have also activated the General Hospital, the doctors who they are there, and with them to give us the list of drugs they need, so that we'll buy and give them.
They are Nigerians of diverse backgrounds of about 10 different states, but mainly in fishing profession, who were given marching order by the Nigerian government to quit ahead of the military operations in the Boko Haram affected riverine axis of their country.
Yes, they are brought without knowledge of the local government, but also, even so, we received them accordingly from the border.
Some of the returnees who left their valuables and investment behind said they need government backing to make ends meet.
I buy almost fish of 800,000 and they burned the whole fish. The whole fish were burned. My children's clothes are burned. My wife came out with only a shirt. We don't have even what to blanket even to even cover our body.
We all lack job here. When we are coverless, we come out empty. How do we start? We need the help of the federal government in order to help our lives.
Very happy because I am sure if God reach, my father will get another money to bring me back to my school to fill my education.
Over 3,000 returnees are so far been transported to about 10 states. For now, the accurate data of Nigerians who returned from Niger Republic is still being worked out by the National Emergency Management Agency. From Gaidam, in Gaidam local government area of Yobe State, Mohammed Abdulkadir, NTA News.
And similarly, the chairman, Presidential Initiative for the Northeast, Professor Soji Adeloja, has directed the release of additional relief materials to over 1,000 hostages rescued from the Sambisa forest. While commending the Special Committee on Resettlement and Rehabilitation of Internally Displaced Persons, he indicated that an interim report, which will be submitted to the federal government soon, is only the first part of a strategic and comprehensive intention plan for the economic development of the Northeast. However, Professor Adeloja says the distribution of relief materials by NEMA and the Red Cross to all host communities in Gombe, Taraba, Bauchi, and returning IDPs in Yobe, Borno, and Adamawa will commence on Monday, 11th of May, 2015. The First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, has commended the Congo Assistance Foundation of the wife of Congolese President Antoinette Sassou Nguesso for promoting the welfare of less privileged citizens of the country. She said there is an event to mark 30 years of the foundation in Libreville. State House correspondent Makut Simon Machem reports.
At the dinner to mark the 30th anniversary of Congo Assistance Foundation, a non-governmental organization of the Congolese First Lady Antoinette Sassou Nguesso, Dame Patience Jonathan said governments all over the world rely on collaboration with non-governmental bodies to enhance the well-being of its people. She noted that the Congo Assistance Foundation is playing that role by supporting government in meeting the needs of the vulnerable in society.
Access to quality health care is important for the development of any nation. Reducing child mortality and improving maternal health are the objectives of the Millennium Development Goal 4 and 5. I am happy that the Congo Assistance Foundation is playing key roles in the realization of the MDG 4 and 5 with appreciable impact in this regard.
She said such passion to assist was what informed her decision to set up the A. Arera Richard Foundation and Women for Change and Development Initiative back in Nigeria. The Congolese First Lady Antoinette Sassou Nguesso thanked the people of Congo for supporting her through the years and said she will continue to offer assistance to those in need. The President of Congo, Denis Sassou Nguesso, and other visiting First Ladies attended the dinner. From Brazzaville in Congo, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
And still on the foreign scene, United Kingdom's re-elected Prime Minister David Cameron promises to unify the nation and run a referendum on UK's European Union membership. This was contained in his speech after meeting with Queen Elizabeth II on his party's majority win at the general elections. Correspondent Chindiman Dubisi reports.
As 66% of United Kingdom's eligible voters turned out to vote at the general elections, they avoided early opinion polls which predicted a hung parliament. The Conservatives ended up winning 331 seats out of 650 seats in the parliament, their first win since 1992. The Labour Party got 232 of the seats, with the Liberal Democrats gaining 8 seats. The SNP won 56 out of 59 seats in Scotland, edging out the Labour Party. The Conservatives' win of the 36.9% of the general vote joined the party's leader, David Cameron, as the Prime Minister, enabling the party to form a government without coalition with other parties. The Labour Party held 30.4% of the votes, UKIP 12.6%, Liberal Democrats 7.9%, the SNP 4.7%, and Green Party 3.8%. The election saw a 20-year-old Scottish student emerge as a member of parliament, the first since 1962. 4 Nigerians also won parliamentary seats. 3 party leaders of the Labour, Liberal Democrats, and UKIP, including Deputy Prime Minister, resigned after their party's dismal performance at the polls. With the Prime Minister's return to Downing Street, there is a pledge to reunite the nation on all fronts and make it greater. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
And President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated the British Prime Minister David Cameron and the Conservative Party for the victory at the country's general election held Thursday. This is contained in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Reuben Abati. President Jonathan says as the Prime Minister and his party prepare to form a new British government backed by the clear majority in Parliament, he assures them of the best wishes of the government and people of Nigeria. It adds that the President expects that the historic relationship between Nigeria and Britain, which received a boost in the past 5 years of his presidency in Nigeria, and Mr. Cameron's term in office will continue to blossom in the coming years for the benefit of both countries and their citizens. President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated Chief Ernest Shonekan on his 79th birthday anniversary. The president says Nigeria owes the former head of state a huge debt of gratitude for his immense contributions to national development. He prayed that God grants him long life. Similarly, President Jonathan has also sent a goodwill message to the former governor of Old Anambra State, Chief Jim Nwobodo, on his 75th birthday. The president prayed that God grants him robust health and many more years of happiness. Television free view is one of the benefits digital switchover has to offer when the regime starts next month. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday had a chat with some free view network operators at the 2-day First International Summit on Digital Broadcasting in Nigeria.
So the benefits to the user are they would have a cheap free-to-air platform with many more channels than they have at the moment. The benefit to broadcasters is it gives them a wider audience, so potentially there's 20 million homes in Nigeria.
They can even connect the box up to the internet. They can get a dongle which can be the 3G mobile or Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden on this again, low-cost box. You can get Twitter, you can get Facebook, you can get video on demand, you can get all sorts of features from being online.
The experts say with the efforts of broadcasting organizations of Nigeria born, National Broadcasting Commission NBC, and other stakeholders, especially the NTA, being one of the major stations, in-view technology incorporating the country is indeed ready.
The channels, we're here today talking to the channels. They're all keen to get on what will be the largest free-to-air platform in the world. NTA will be on here. I hope that your news channel will be here, and general entertainment channel. I know that you already have a number of channels today available on other pay TV platforms, and we're hoping that we can attract NTA onto what's going to be the biggest platform of them all in Nigeria, Freeview.
June 17, 2015 is the day set for digital switch over by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Federal Road Safety Corps seeks passage of bill to enhance road safety. Details when we return.
Fun gets more exciting with the Airtel Android bundle. To activate, dial *437# for 2 GB at 2,000 Naira or *438# for 4.5 GB at 3,500 Naira.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's not a question of place.
It's not a question of temperature.
It's not a question of dedication. In fact, it's not a question at all.
Energy has to be better. It's our responsibility.
And our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
At 10, Fumi wanted to be a chemist. At 15, an engineer. At 17, she was accepted into a prestigious university, followed by tragedy. Her father died. Yet, at 21, she still graduated top of her class. Choose life. Book a plan for the ones you love and keep the music playing long after you're gone. Mansard Insurance, for life and living.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
All over Nigeria, Ariel claims to give us the best stain removal in one wash. So we'll collect tough stains, red sand, fruit juice, to see which gives the best stain removal in one wash. We'll wash one half with Ariel and the other with the other peanut detergent. With the other peanut detergent remove the stains. And Ariel, best stain removal in Nigeria in one wash.
Discover the liquid freshness of Center Fresh chewing gum that you feel. And others too. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
Good to have you back on NTA Network News this beautiful Friday evening. The federal government has suspended leave of permanent secretaries, chief executive of government agencies, and directorate-level officers in the federal service. A statement by the head of service of the Federation, Mr. Danladi Kefase, says President Jonathan gave the directive in order to ensure a smooth and seamless handover to the incoming administration on May 29, 2015. All affected officers presently on leave are to resume duty immediately. Globally, the use of social media is fast becoming an integral part of political culture. Nigeria, of course, is not left out in this trend, as the Ministry of Science and Technology engages Nigerian youths in the effective use of technology during election, especially the social media. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
More than 200 Nigerian youths aged between 19 and 40 that participated in the 215 general elections converged here to present and review their roles in the use of social media in that election across the country. Before the elections, the Ministry of Science and Technology tutored these youths on the use of technology during electoral process. From their experiences, they observed that social media enhanced inclusiveness and one-on-one contact with INEC, security agents and other relevant stakeholders.
Because of the use of social media, people got to know the results and it's promoted a peaceful election.
Where I monitored, we have places where the insufficient of manpower by INEC, and incidentally the card reader did not work. So we have to use the social media to contact INEC.
Ministry of Science and Technology is now using their experiences to plan towards massive use of technologies on platforms like social media and smart card reader in the 2019 elections.
It is our firm belief that this partnership will remove all impediments to the use of technology tools from the voters' registration to the election proper.
The ministry also recognized some youth that were outstanding in the use of the social media in the last election. In Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Yobe State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja has granted a request for the inspection of materials used by INEC to conduct the governorship polls in the state. This followed an application by the PDP Waziri. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewu reports.
5 election petition tribunals have had their sittings relocated to Abuja because of the security situation in their state. Yobe is one of them. The others are Rivers, Borno and Adamawa election petition tribunals. While none has really started sitting, the stage is being set for smooth proceedings, as in the case of Yobe governorship petition, where PDP candidate Adamu Waziri wants to be granted permission to inspect the materials used by INEC for the conduct. Counsel to Waziri gave the background to such requests.
Section 151 of the Electoral Act gives us power or leeway to bring an application before the court to inspect documents even before a petition is instituted at all. In our own case, we have instituted a petition, and we realized that we need to inspect the documents that are with INEC, and that can only be done with an order from the Honorable Tribunal.
Presiding judge of the tribunal, Justice Mujisola Dada, granted the prayers. Adamu Waziri and the PDP are challenging the victory of incumbent governor Ibrahim Gaidam of the All Progressive Congress in Yobe State. A date is to be fixed for the tribunal's inaugural sitting. In Abuja, Femi Okewu, NTA News.
And as the date for the formal handing over to a new administration draws nearer, the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, has been urged to fulfill his promises to Nigerians by preferring lasting solutions to the insecurity situation, economy, and corruption in the country. The appeal was made at Leadership Colloquium under the chairmanship of former Minister of Information and Culture, Prince Tony Momo. Correspondent Joseph Orok reports.
With the topic, the role and pen of a honest man in an emerging democracy, was put together by a group, One Voice Nigeria, whose main objective is the realization of the ideals of General Muhammadu Buhari. Chairman of the occasion, Prince Tony Momo, said he was optimistic that General Buhari will bring to bear his wealth of experience in the governance of the nation. National Chairman of One Voice Nigeria, One Nation, Jimba Yakubu, said Nigerians and the youth in particular expect a social security situation where people will be protected against poverty and disease, and an environment where people can practice the Nigerian brotherhood.
We are making great change. We believe in him because of his integrity. He has zero tolerance for corruption, his hard-working nature, his belief in this country, and his belief in empowering the younger ones.
One Voice Nigeria is an association of persons committed to the evolution of a credible leadership in Nigeria. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
The national coordinator of Buhari Friends Network organization, Athanasius Okon, says the government of General Muhammadu Buhari will restore discipline, standards and democratic dividends within its first 6 months. Mr. Okon stated these at the group's 25th meeting, where it expected its scope to cover Europe, America and Asia. Correspondent Edino Justice has the details.
Part of the agenda of the Buhari Friends organization is how to design policies that will assist the new government to deliver on its promises. While calling on leaders to lead by example, the coordinator enjoined Nigerians to support the incoming administration by imbibing the culture of discipline.
We must always be seen praying for his government to succeed, for his long life, wisdom, and God's protection, so that we can, at the end of the day, have the much-needed dividends of democracy.
He noted that the group will now transform into a political pressure group to accommodate more people.
Rebrand to do what? To go and sensitize greatly and know what the yearnings of the masses are, so that we can push forward to the government. We don't want the government to fail. And we'll do a lot of things to make sure that we fight against psychophancy.
Rebranding, you know, how important it is to live very clean life. If we succeed in doing this, there will be a lot of change in this country.
Buhari Friends Network, a non-governmental organization, is one of the foremost groups that persuaded General Muhammadu Buhari to join the 2015 presidential race. Edino Justice, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has urged the National Assembly to expedite action on the passage of the FRSC bills to guarantee safety of Nigerians. The representative of the Corps Marshal of the FRSC, Buboyi Oyeyemi, stated these during the advocacy visits to National Assembly as part of its one-week-long activities to commemorate United Nations Global Road Safety Week. Aliu Kabir reports.
The Corps Marshal of the FRSC, represented by his Deputy Admin and Human Resources, Chidi Nwachukwu, presented the position of the Nigerian children on road safety matters and the need for improved policies and implementation of action on road safety.
Chairman, it is essential again to sensitize on the need for the child safety on our roads. This is the Children Week, Road Safety Children Week, and that's why and again to use the opportunity to urge distinguished senators, especially the children as members, to spearhead the support for the amended Road Safety Act, which will soon be coming to you for consideration and maybe passing.
While promising the FRSC the appropriate legislation, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs and the House of Representatives on FRSC charged the Corps not to relent in its efforts to ensure safer roads in Nigeria.
We have taken note of that in our various areas or committees to give consideration to the welfare of children in terms of road safety. The search for solutions and strategies for protecting children is a joint responsibility of all stakeholders, and all hands must be on deck in order to reduce the menace of accidents that result in the untimely death of our children.
The must also
also at the Ministry of Women Affairs, where issues on the safety of children were discussed in line with this year's theme, Children and Road Safety. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And we sincerely apologize for the poor picture quality of that report and a bit of energy report. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and its downstream subsidiary, the Pipeline and Products Marketing Company, PPMC, revealed that it has 1.2 billion liters of petrol in stock. The figure translates to 31 days sufficiency, going by the 40 million daily consumption of the product in the country. The managing director of PPMC, Prince Haruna Momo, who made the disclosure in Abuja, further stated that 21 additional vessels laden with petroleum products are offshore in Lagos, waiting to berth. He said that the NNPC had made adequate arrangements to ensure energy sufficiency in the country and reassured motorists that the noticeable queues at the filling stations will soon thin out in the days ahead. Prince Momo noted that the NNPC has 21 days sufficiency of diesel and 18 days sufficiency of kerosene. He announced that as part of efforts to ensure petroleum product sufficiency and distribution, the NNPC embarked on aggressive reception depots rehabilitation in 2011, adding that as at today, 18 depots out of the 23 have been fully recovered, with the exception of Makurdi, Yola, Maiduguri, due to activities of pipeline vandals. We now go over to Lagos, where Jennifer is standing by with more on network news. Good to see you, Jennifer.
Good to see you too, Funke. Good evening and many thanks for joining us in Lagos. The Minister of Aviation, Osita Chidoka, says he is optimistic that the move towards transforming the aviation industry will come to reality in no distant time. The minister gave the assurance at the unveiling of the Common User Passenger Processing System at the local wing of the Muritala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. Doing Dia reports that the project was initiated by Courtney Aviation Services Limited.
The Common User Passenger Processing System, which is first of its kind in the country, provides passengers easy access to the boarding area. The system scans flight tickets and other traveling documents and produces a security chip which will be used for data gathering as well as affirm the presence of each passenger around the airport. The Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, who commended by Courtney Aviation Services Limited for the initiative, said the federal government is committed to making the aviation industry more competitive and viable for trade and foreign investments using the most advanced technologies.
It's a customer-centric industry. Without the customers, there is no aviation. So we are not yet where we want to be, but we are pushing in the right direction. And I want to believe that if we continue in this direction, in the next couple of years, Nigeria will not only be a destination airport, but will become a transit airport.
Chairman of Courtney Aviation Services Limited, Wale Babalaki, and the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Christopher Pennick, highlighted some of the benefits of the gadgets to airport users and the country at large.
We have been able to prove that the private sector, properly encouraged, can seriously improve infrastructure in Nigeria and have considerable effect on employment.
So what we want to do is improve the customer experience while you travel. If you can use options like WhatsApp, Instagram on your phone,
assured Nigeria of a more convenient and advanced facilities at the nation's airports. In Lagos, Doing Dia, NTA News.
A new electronic payment solution known as Pay Attitude has been launched into the Nigerian financial market. This new payment solution is expected to eliminate transaction failures associated with network failures during e-payment. Deji Dobu reports that this payment solution, Pay Attitude, is a product of Unified Payments.
The latest electronic payment solution in Nigeria, Pay Attitude, is a 3-in-1 package offering debit, prepaid, and mobile payments depending on the choice of the subscribers. A product of Unified Payments, Pay Attitude is a highly secured near-field communication NFC-enabled tag which subscribers can fix on their mobile phones and which stores those phones into a multifunction payment tool for contactless or proximity transactions.
When you go shopping and you are carrying pay attitude, you have the confidence that your transaction will be approved all the time. There's no need for seeking network connectivity with your bank or any other entity.
Its arrival has no doubt generated a lot of interest among Nigerian banks and e-payments agents who see pay attitude as a revolutionary payment solution fully developed in Nigeria for the global market.
The only way you can catch up with the rest of the world is to leapfrog. This is doing exactly something even more than even the developed world has done.
Subscribers are expected to access pay attitude through the branches of partnering Nigerian leading banks and certified agents. In Lagos, Chido, NTA News.
Government urged to address the various problems faced by manufacturers as operators lament on the operational challenges on their business. Let's join Amechi Pius on Business segment for details.
Hello and welcome to Business News, and thanks for joining us. Operators of the nation's manufacturing sector have expressed concern over the prevailing myriad of challenges militating against the growth of the sector. Despite successes recorded in the areas of cement, bottling and agro-allied industries, the past 4 years, manufacturers, particularly owners of small businesses, have had to contend with inadequate power supply, high cost of funds and unfair competition.
Issues around multiple taxation, because you need to plan in advance of those policies that are in place, because you can't plan in isolation of what the government had actually planned for the country.
Apart from strengthening the various regulatory agencies to check the influx of substandard products into the country, government, they explain, as a matter of deliberate policy, must encourage the patronage of made in Nigeria goods.
Because the cost of doing business is still very high, and unless they are able to be competitive, there's no way they can bring the kind of value that we expect them to bring to the economy. So we have to fix the issue of power, for instance. We have to fix the issue of our rail system. We have to fix the issue of fuel availability.
A look at the Nigerian Ports Authority shipping position shows that 36 vessels carrying bulk rice, bulk fish, salt, wheat, sugar, used vehicles, general cargo, butane, and premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol, are expected in the country this month. And that's Business News. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
Safety, value, fairness. That's what consumers get when measurements are accurate. For this reason, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, is building Nigeria's National Metrology Institute in Enugu, and the groundbreaking ceremony will be performed by the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. This bold initiative by the Standards Organization of Nigeria, alongside the upgraded Lekki Metrology Laboratories, guarantees fairness in all commercial transactions. Venue, Standards Organization of Nigeria Engineering Laboratories, Emene Industrial Layout, Enugu. Date, May 12, 2015. Time, 11 a.m. Special guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Aganga, CON. Host, Director General, Standards Organization of Nigeria, Dr. Joseph Udumutu, MFR. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
Ferry is now in Nigeria and invites you to the Egusi Soup Festival, where chefs and housewives compete for the very best soup. The challenge is to wash these oily pans.
We choose the best-selling brand.
We choose the new Ferry. Ferry is so powerful, even one drop is effective on 100% oily grease. Because Ferry is the best, it removes oily grease easily, while the chefs need to scrub and scrub. Wow, it's squeaky clean. Ferry is the best at removing oily grease.
From the makers of Ariel.
Hello, my name is Malik, and this is my Kemu story. We're all addicted to mobile phones, but I didn't realize how huge until I started selling on the internet with Kemu.com. In a few clicks, I listed my products online.
Start your business today. It's that easy. Kemu.com.
Change is the only constant. Anything defined can be refined. Welcome to the new look of FCMB, the new look of opportunity. FCMB, my bank and I.
Good to have you back in Abuja and still on business. Despite a challenging operating environment in 2014, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, Transcorp, has announced gross revenue of 41 billion naira for the year ended December 31st, 2014. Taiwo Dugbeson covered the group's annual general meeting in Abuja. Her report.
The story of Transcorp is a standout among conglomerates in Nigeria, and it gets better each year. The company's early focus was on turnaround and stabilization, and now for the second year in a row since takeover, the new leadership has given a dividend of 6 kobo per share payable to all shareholders in respect of the financial year ended 31st December 2014.
The new board has added value to our investment, which for the first several years of operation was tissue paper.
So the dividend is appreciably now, and now we urge them to do more.
With a 12% increase in the gross earnings from 18.8 billion naira in 2013 to 41.3 billion naira in 2014, group operating profit also rose by 8% from 10.2 billion naira in 2013 to 13.6 billion naira in 2014. This impressive revenue growth reflects the first full year of earnings from the power sector.
The good news here is that the Transnational Corporation of Nigeria plans to generate at least a quarter of Nigeria's power consumption. The chairman, Tony Elumelu, tells us how this will be achieved.
What we are generating today is 610 megawatts, the capacity, but because of gas constraint, shortage of gas, we are producing about 300 megawatts. If we had enough gas, we will produce for Nigerians 610 megawatts. And by next month, we want to add 110. And by the end of this year, we'll be doing about 825 megawatts of electricity. That's a lot.
From hospitality to power, agribusiness, and oil and gas, Transcorp is also in touch with a Canadian company for a gas-to-power project to boost power generation in Nigeria. In Abuja, Taiwo Odugbeson, NTA News.
And away from business, a conscious effort to understand and apply indigenous languages can be a catalyst for improving the quality of education and veritable tool to speed up national development. Director General of National Orientation Agency, Mike Omeri, and Professor Chinere Ohiri Aniche, Professor of Language Education and President of the Linguistic Association of Nigeria, shared their views on NTA Network Current Affairs program, Moment of Thought.
Research is showing us worldwide that the children really understand better when they're taught in their local languages. We go to places like South Africa, they even take it to primary 6. So it's in our interest to do that in villages, teach them first in their local languages.
It's in the quest for status symbol. You speak good English, like I said earlier. But we really end up with the status without the symbol.
They advise parents to imbibe the culture of raising their children with indigenous language for their proper development and high educational performance. Moment for Thoughts comes up at 11 o'clock tonight on NTA Network. In response to afflictions of women and children resulting from insurgency in some parts of the northeast geopolitical zone of the country, the Red Cross Society of Nigeria has put smiles on the faces of displaced persons at Daga Camp Area 1, Abuja. Correspondent Chindima Asan Agomo reports that the gesture is part of activities marking the 2015 International Red Cross Day celebration with the theme, The Fundamental Principles.
Donating the items, the chairman of Red Cross Society FCT branch, Mr. Toye Olaniyi, said the gesture is from the members, Nigerian Postal Services, and 7 schools in FCT, re-emphasizing that the Red Cross has remained at the forefront in providing assistance to millions of people across the globe The Executive Secretary, FCT Branch, Nigerian Red Cross Society, Mr. Simon Wobani, urged the victims to be hopeful in their trying times.
We always look out for where we have the most vulnerable people.
The chairman of the camp, Habib Waziri, who could not hide his joy, commended the members for the gesture.
We really appreciate for Red Cross visiting us, giving us some items.
The international community of the Red Cross was founded in 1863 in Geneva, Switzerland by Henry Donat, and since then the organization have been playing the role of saving lives and aiding the defenseless. In Abuja, Chidima and Sinagomo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists Credential Committee has closed submission of nomination of forms for aspirants to contest for positions in its forthcoming elections. Correspondent Anthony Fossen reports.
Chairman of the NTA Credentials Committee, Wenda Onoiga, while receiving the nomination form of one of the presidential aspirants, Uzaka Sheifa, urged the aspirants to adhere strictly to the rules, saying NG cannot afford to run an election that will create credibility problems for the union.
We cannot afford to disappoint Nigerians and our colleagues across the globe. Nigeria, NG plays a very, very critical role in the Federation of African Journalists. Indeed, we occupy the #1 position there.
Uzaka Seifa said he will work for the interest of the members.
Responsible service, qualitative service, add value to this union so that our media men and journalists should be proud of that, yes, we have a union.
The NG Triennial Delegates Conference is scheduled for 24th through 26th of June. In Abuja, Anthony Fossen, NTA News.
Let's now join our Enugu Network Center for what is happening in that zone. Hello, friend.
Hello, Funke. Welcome to Enugu Network Center. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arese, has announced his administration's resolve to promote intelligence-led policing to ensure the protection of human rights. He was speaking at the passing out ceremony of officers who graduated from the Police Dictative College in Enugu. Chinyere Okoye reports.
The 132 officers drawn from different police formations across the country participated in the intelligence policing training. The training is to inject into the Nigerian police force the global standard of security operations, which requires extra task of investigations to reduce human rights abuse and detention without due prosecution. The Acting Inspector General of Police urged the graduating officers to apply the knowledge gained in the discharge of their functions as police officers. He also appealed to them same on others to ensure that the desired transformation process is realized in no distant time.
It's in tandem with my determination to engage the institution to drive the attainment of the core components of my strategic policing vision, which are premised on the tenets of intelligence-led policing.
At the Enugu State Police Command Headquarters, Mr. Arase told officers and men that his regime will not tolerate any form of corruption, stressing the need for them to rise up to their duties and win back public confidence. The acting IGP was received by the AIG Zone 9, Usman Gwari, and commissioners under the zone. In Enugu, Chinyere Okoye, NTA News.
In his effort to reposition the educational sector in Anambra State, Governor Winnie Obiano has commissioned a dormitory and refectory at the Queen of the Rosary College, Onitsha. Benson Osadebe completes the report.
Noted that the ABGA administration has demonstrated love for education as it is the only sure way of securing the future of the children.
Infrastructure includes the building, the hostels, and what we do. The second is comfort of the students. That's part of the things we have done there.
The Commissioner for Education, Professor Kate Omenoga, noted that the partnership between the state and the church in education is yielding positive results. The principal of the school, Reverend Sister Maria Nwankwo, commended the governor for his support to them, which is shaping the moral and character of the students. At the Anglican Girls Secondary School, Onitsha, the governor went round to ascertain the quality of work done on the fence project, which noted that is in line with his policy on security of lives and property. From Onitsha, Benson Osadebe, NTA News.
That's all from Enugu. Funke is standing by with more reports on Network News.
Thank you very much. To overcome corruption in the country, there is need for the citizenry to complement the efforts of the anti-graft agencies through exhibiting honesty and truthfulness in all their dealings. Chief Imam of Area 11 Mosque, Ustaz Abdullahi Ahmed Kachi, gave the advice during his Friday sermon. Correspondent Aliu Tukur has the details.
Looking at the topic of the Friday sermon, which focused on truthfulness and honesty, the Chief Imam said the topic is apt as the country is determined to bring corruption to the barest minimum. He called on both leaders and followers to be truthful in their dealings so as to make the society free from social vices. To achieve this, the Imam said there is need for citizens to go back to the true teachings of both faiths.
So we ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be truthful in our life. Whatever we are doing, we should be truthful in that. In all aspects of our lives, we should be truthful. If we are intermingling or transacting or do whatever we are doing with others, regardless of faith, you should be truthful to those people.
As the country prepares for transition, the Imam urged citizens to be peaceful and law-abiding, and also called on the incoming administration to work towards making the lives of Nigerians better. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
We'll now take another break, after which Network News continues. Stay with us.
NTA Television College Jos, the leading institution in television broadcasting training in Nigeria, offers you the opportunity to become a professional broadcaster.
On the news tonight,
available courses: 2 years diploma course in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. The college also offers short courses for a period of 6 to 8 weeks in the following areas: basic television journalism, political reporting, online journalism, basic television production, camera operation techniques, basic television presentation, non-linear editing, animation, videography and photography, professional makeup techniques, research and marketing techniques, advanced lighting energy conservation, advanced web design technology, satellite and DSNG equipment maintenance. Our courses are open to media personnel in public and private television stations, corporate organizations, state and federal parastatals, tertiary institution and interested individuals. We have molded many. Come and join the list of the professionals for a rewarding future. For details, please call 08037 216725 0803 594 1444. Email television.college@yahoo.com. Announcer, Management.
So, how you do so? Na promo. You say come become millionaire. You never hear say NAFDAC don bring wetin dem call mobile authentication service wey go help us know whether medicine na fake or not before we pay. Now come see. As I scratch this thing wey be like recharge card so, come send the pin to 38353 free of charge. I go call receive text message to confirm. Okay, original. Sure. Just like that, we confirm whether medicine is fake or not instant. Now when you say don't wise up, make you help not that spread it to you. Not the way that. Madam, come and take your money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message.
You're welcome to the last lap of NTA Network News. And sports. Super Falcons through to the third round of the 2016 Olympics qualifiers Mali withdraws. Plus, Floyd Mayweather Jr. makes U-turn on rematch with Manny Pacquiao. Ayodeji Makinde has more on Sports Update.
The maiden edition of Diplomatic Sports is expected to commence on Monday, the 11th of May at the Abuja National Stadium as part of activities to create awareness on the competition, which has as its theme Integration for World Peace. Organizers and participants will embark on a health walk on Saturday, the 9th of May.
Through this very healthy
and sport, competition, to promote that also, those values of friendship and cooperation between all members of the diplomatic corps and the missions based here in Abuja.
Nigeria's Super Falcons have qualified for the third round of qualifiers for the Rio 2016 Olympic Games after Mali's female Eagles pulled out of the qualification race. The Nigeria Football Federation was notified by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, of the development, which puts the Falcons through to the third round qualification first leg coming up in July, ahead the final round of qualification in October. Spanish club side Sevilla defeated Serie A side Fiorentina by 3-0 Thursday in the first leg semi-finals of the Europa League to remain firmly in contention for a back-to-back title. In the other game, Dnipro substitute Yevhen Selesnyov snatched the late equalizer to earn a 1-1 draw at Napoli, who are aiming for their first European trophy since Diego Maradona led the club to the 1989 UEFA Cup. Away from football, undefeated Floyd Mayweather says he is not interested in having a rematch with Manny Pacquiao and has branded the Filipino fighter a sore loser. The 38-year-old American, who cruised to a one-sided points victory, does not think the right shoulder injury impacted Pacquiao's performance in their fight on May the 2nd. With sports updates, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
Well, on that sporting note, we conclude the NTA Network news for today. Do have a funky weekend. Good night and God bless.